Abusianfoni and of your Muna Kwa BM for one Sunny, Hannah all the latest update no man could be and subscribe and share more news and in your being teens already in feigning chimney and kind of one chamoy. And ne and a petitioner or petition our Supreme Court, our say almost 2 members from the panel committee are present. Mahamat is probe the suspended Chief Justice and then the petitions of a young Crawford the comma Mahamas Chief Justice were deemed some money A and as were deemed some money B petition anymore lawyer Bako Eka a year 2 panel moka committee no ako restaurant be ADD now during the time mood no na nkoma mood no say omo discuss niema ekoso e wade na ese yen in camera no omo discuss was a restaurant or so e be ya e president Mahama and scrap all those committee members no na that suspended Chief Justice no cramp no sa process ni na yen dissolve bibia ene update aba ene Supreme Court atenase 8 years no na Sarah is speaking on NDC lawyers when it be about wanting declared that petition useless. Just say a bogus a petition ever. Na no can see for this person here because on one case on your papa on one credibility at stake choose a petition now or the petition the Supreme Court about this case. As Sarah is speaking NDC election legal thing for now. So NDC lawyers for any be any breakable but you couldn't quote in sending
squarely on the corridors of power, the presidency. How do you take this coming from the survey and then also a petition on the decks of the president citing the circumstantial incidents that has been cited in that petition that again question the work credibility of the committee in itself and the whole process?
Well, first of all, let me greet all our viewers. I'm excited that on a day such as this, we want to discuss Chief Justice and matters arising. In fact, let's go beyond what is being speculated now. I want to.
I don't understand. Are you saying we should have chosen a different subject?
I'm saying that it's good we're discussing it now because it couldn't have been any other time better than today. Tadio Sori has responded, and I'm very much excited about his response. And he wrote something, and if you read what he wrote, there's a lot of meat in what he wrote.
What did he say?
He said it's a monstrous lie. If you want me to
he said it's a monstrous lie?
It's a monstrous lie.
You mean what he wrote on his Facebook?
On his Facebook, or in response to that useless petition.
You call the petition useless?
Very useless, and I will address why it's useless. He says that it's a monstrous lie. No such meeting took place. It is very easy to fact check that. We know those who get justice through negotiation.
He says we know what?
Those who get justice through negotiations. And I'm sure in the coming days, we will get to know exactly what he means by that. However, the gentleman called Adenta Kumi, the least said about him, the better.
Is he your friend?
I don't know where he belongs. He's my friend. I know him. I mean,
okay. So what's that got? What has his person got to do with the petition?
But I am disappointed because this is a young man who claims he was NPP at a point, picked up even nominations to contest in Adenta. Adenta.
He is NPP. You can't say he claims.
He claims. Why? I'm going to tell you why. Then when the movement for change came, he shifted to movement for change. I don't know when he left movement for change again. He's back in the NPP. Where exactly does he fit in this whole scheme of things? Is he NPP? Is he movement for change? Is he an independent candidate?
He's a citizen of Ghana. That should be outrightly the most important.
For such a person whose credibility is questioned about where he belongs, you think I should be worried about what he says? This is somebody who wants legitimacy with the NPP now.
You say he's not trustworthy? Is that what you're saying?
Trustworthy. He's not trustworthy. He knows that for a fact, and everybody knows that. This is somebody who is jumping from one party to the other. In the last 2 years or 1 year, he has been in about 4 or 5 parties. So where does he belong? How do we take on your own credibility into vis-a-vis what you're telling us today? You are talking about credibility. that there's a meeting that has gone on. And then he tries to say that it's in Santoku. Do you remember that 2 days before now, or before when he did his petition, the NPP said they are not going to parliament and that they are going to wait until president dissolve the committee and that they should stop that of the committee's work before they can go to parliament. Excuse me. I know that Adenta Kumi is struggling to find credibility.
I don't understand. You're saying that this petition is just red herring?
From their own party's constitution, the MPP's own party's constitution. Once you left the party, you're coming back. There's a process. There is a process. So I don't even know whether it's MPP or NDC or whatever this. So this is a young man struggling for credibility. And we do, the least said about him, the better. We are not going to have time to discuss.
Are you on a tangent of trying to tarnish the messenger instead of looking at the message?
I'm not tarnishing. This is record.
Is that what you have to do?
This is public record. Public record. It's been one time NPP, another time Movement for Change, another time Independent, another time now is NPP again. Really? This is the person we want to discuss? There are more juicier, more real issues, credible issues to discuss on our platforms, not Adenta Kumi. Adenta Kumi, please. Now, I am happy that Tedesori has responded. And he has responded in a manner that is very subtle. He has responded in a manner that is very clear, at least to all well-meaning Ghanaians. How do you just get up and write a petition and say, you saw Tedesori? Tedesori one time used to be the lawyer for the Ghana Judicial Service, if you care to know. He's not one of those lawyers by the roadside that are begging, to earn a living or to negotiate a transaction and all that. In any case, the people in the case, the people who are handling the case are 5. The panel is made up of 5 people. You are claiming you saw 2 people out of the panel, including our own Justice Yoni Kulendi. This is somebody that if I were family members to these people, I would have been pushing them to go to court and punish this boy for throwing out that lie of an expose. That you saw people in Santoku restaurant and then they were having discussions. To the extent that he even said that the discussions bordered Santoku.
Santoku?
Yeah. Santoku restaurant. You know where it is?
No,
it's in Akroma. Villaggio, right? Then he claims that he actually heard them discussing the case. Can you imagine?
He didn't say they said the bystanders as well as the witnesses.
So whatever it is, he's placed that in the record. Because if he's invited today to speak to that issue, is he going to be speaking to
What's your point with that?
My point is that this is a young man struggling for credibility. This is a young man trying to look for acceptance in the NPP. This is a young man trying to please somebody out there. This is a young man who is struggling to understand what is happening even around himself. So I cannot, waste our energy, time around this time discussing this Adenta Kumi.
You think it's
frivolous?
The actions are deliberate?
Sent or, calculated by himself or trying to get public attention and all that. Whatever it is bogus, is useless, is reckless, and I think that is unfounded. And this is not something we want to discuss on a platform like this. Adenta Kumi, I mean, he should come again. We need somebody better to have a discourse on some of these issues. If, say, Roland, you go and make some of these allegations or, petition the president, we can have a discussion on that because we can trust your credibility. The messenger is as good as the message. You are saying that I'm trying to tarnish his reputation. No, I am not tarnishing his reputation, but I know that the messenger is as good as the message.
Adenta Kumi.
Adenta Kumi, yes.
Kumi.
For a fact. You now want to mention all his full name. His name is Adenta Kumi. Alfred Abebio Kumi. And then he calls himself Adenta Kumi. So please, let's not waste our energy on this young man. He has nothing better.
So you rather focus on the public perception, the 53%? Is that what you want to talk about? When Adenta Kumi is raising key issues?
When it comes to law, the law, the constitution of our land, it has no relevance what anybody thinks. The law is the law. At least the outgoing Chief Justice tells us the law is the law, or the suspended Chief Justice says the law is the law. He knows nobody. He knows no man. President Newz said that it doesn't matter whose horse is God. If the law has to work, it has to work. It cannot be because the NPP is in opposition today, or they are injured today, or they have lost the elections today. Then suddenly the law has to favor them. When they were taking out people from offices like Domelevo and Co, like Charlotte and Co and all the others, was it not the same law that was used? So once the processes are fine and the processes are within the confines of our constitutional provisions, I don't have a problem. I think that we should go the full war. In fact, this is in the interest of the suspended Chief Justice to be interested in this process because you claim innocence. You claim you are not, gullible in any of some of these issues. What it is that then go to the committee, make your case, make it as strongly as you can, present your evidence. If the committee exonerates you, why not? Why not? It's the same law. You will be put back into office and you can continue your work. But to the extent that we are going to be discussing these frivolous allegations by...
Frivolous?
Very frivolous.
Wanda Madilo,
very
frivolous?
Very frivolous, very
he insinuates or alleges in the petition that he saw a group of people and identifies
in one breath,
the perceived justices.
No, in one breath, he says that the Chief Justice, Acting Chief Justice, the other one, Asiedu Adibo, right? And then Yune Kulendu. He's claiming he saw them and they were spotted. Then in another breath, he's saying that bystanders, bystanders, without pictures, without any evidence, even if there were pictures, today in the world of AI, today in the world where if I had a meeting with you 10 years ago and you bring it up today, I'm able to tell where the pictures or when it was taken. So please, let's ignore some of these things. They are too much
petition
noise.
Is in, you are mentioning AI.
Yeah, it's too much noise to even worry ourselves about. Adenta Kumi. Please, let's get somebody better to do this. If the NPP ever needs somebody better to do some of these things, they should look for the right people, not this kind.
It's not only NPP, he's also an individual citizen of Ghana who has his rights enshrined in
this is feeding directly into the NPP propaganda. It's feeding into the NPP narrative. It's feeding into the NPP lies. It's feeding into the NPP, what you call lame excuses for the removal of the Chief Justice. Did they not know that the law is the law at the time they were doing what they did? Did they not have this constitution in their mandate within their purview for the last 16 years of their political governance since '92? So what happened? All of a sudden the constitution is now bad and we cannot use it. They will have to wait and see the full. We are not in court with the NPP. Please, let's be clear on this. The law is the law, and we are in court because something untoward has happened. And the constitution says if that happens, this and this is what must be done, and that's what's being done. Why are we wasting our time discussing Adenta Kumi, who has lost credibility amongst his own family members? Why are we discussing Adenta Kumi when he has lost credibility with himself? Why are we discussing Adenta Kumi, who doesn't even know where he belongs in the political landscape of this country? Why? Adenta Kumi. Excuse me, come again.
It's a petition by an individual who's
but a frivolous one of that matter.
Dr. Zato, the Constitution was triggered based on the powers that it gives the president. We've gone through the processes where at a committee level, then all of a sudden the petition comes. A public opinion majority, 53%, also says that, look, we support the president, the processes so far that the suspended Chief Justice is going through should continue. How do you marry the two? Well, we've reached a certain stage, we're almost like past the half stage of the process. And subsequently, this petition, after all the court cases, the press conferences, etc., also comes in. Red herring, no herring?
Roland, let me say that.
Sing them for me.
First of all, there are pending cases at the Supreme Court by some groups that still believe that they will need interpretation of Article 296. So that one can be dealt with by the Supreme Court.
There's also one yesterday by Mr. Kwati against it.
It's part of it. And another one by something system. I mean, when there are some of these issues, all of a sudden you hear groups popping up.
What system? Something system?
Citizenship.
Some pressure group.
Yes, some pressure.
They just metamorphose, you say?
They're out of the blue. They say the office at Mamobi, opposite the police station.
There's something they are Mamobi.
This country, you got to be serious. You see, Ro, when I saw the petition from my own younger brother, Adenta Kubi, at first I was just going to throw it to the toilet.
You mean you were going to use that tissue paper?
Tissue paper, because clearly when I read it, you wouldn't know the head or the tail. I mean, the tone of the petition itself tells you that he himself wasn't there. And believe you me, upon a second reflection or thought, I said, this matter must be investigated. If I were the president, I would set up another committee, call Adenta Kubi to come and defend his position.
Why?
Because you are raising issues that even borders on the integrity of Santogo.
The restaurant.
If I were those sitting there, now Tadio Sorry is saying that it's a monstrous lie. I don't know whether the lie has to do with the fact that indeed they were there, but they never discussed issues pertaining to the matter, or what they were not there at all.
Well, Dr. That was looking at the integrity, if for nothing at all, of two.
Yes.
One individual being Tadio Sorry with all the experience he has, and I'm sure the second one will be Unicolindi.
Yes,
and as a journalist, I've interviewed Unicolindi a couple of times, even before he became chief justice.
So you granted that they will even do it. The man is saying people heard them. So he himself wasn't there. And he's making reference to the fact that if you were to go to Santoku today, it will be confirmed. So who in Santoku? If I came to Santoku to come and eat, was that information released by the staffs of Santoku or who else there? So it's going to create a lot of problems for the Santoku restaurant. If they care to know, they must issue a statement immediately on this.
You mean their integrity?
Integrity is on the line, because then I will not feel safe going to eat there. Santoku. And that is why I want a committee to be set up to call in Adenta Kumi. I know Adenta Kumi will not pass the credibility test, but I want him to be exposed beyond reasonable doubt.
Exposed?
So that we will shape politics in this country. One of the problems that we faced as a movement for change was this young man, Adenta Kumi.
Why do you intend to attend to
Alan Chamanti had given him the opportunity, all the opportunities in this world to shine?
You seem to be attacking his credibility. Wanda Madilo also says that, and all of a sudden also Dr. Zato, the distinguished Dr. Zato, also said
that's a very good friend. Adenta Kumi is a very good friend of mine.
I don't know him.
But I need to. You see, some of us need to help him. The petition that he has issued, what are the substantive issues he's raising? He has not even told you the sort of discussions that were going on. Whether they were discussing how the matters will be dealt with at the committee levels or so. All he's saying is that two people, as part of the committee, went to eat, and that the whole entire committee members must be scrapped.
As Santoku.
What sort of life is this? Now you don't tell us the conclusion of their meetings. All you are saying is that the president must dispatch with whatever is going on.
I was for the Ankasi the power no the case na ko Supreme Court no hwe nsem e fa no APP the power no ejinem na we no more credibility nya papa omo nye nkrofo which is omo they are not the right people or some tena this a panel as a committee na so e be John Dramani Mahama our president in yi omo nyina mfiri ho ni panel no this a case na ekono Sheniema pa no. Wan kasa party mu nipa baako ababonti abe expose you. Yes, we free NPP. Na alanko ju chematin kono. Udi na chikoi. Na is waba back to NPP. Nti wan kasa crampo no. Unnim your way forward. Unni vision bia. Unye nipa wo say omuti wa asem crampo. Because wan kasa crampo no. Unyi stable minded. Na nipa otisi no onu na ebe determine the president. Nipa otisi no onu na ebe kasama eye akuku dam say title sorry say onu na ebe kasama no. It doesn't make sense to pay the Enyema NDC for the 12 months no. Solo our movement for change I say. Say power no was almost see you different no. After the case, say Supreme Court say be a mubu to go. Or some see papa way different no. A dream bonny a tiny dream. Exposing because how come? How? And all the amount for credibility. About 2 times all the amount for integrity by 2 times so who call for be a year kukudam say a restaurant ADD. And no more discuss the coso about the suspended chief justice. How? So I say hotel now, so a restaurant now or cano. I said the owner crampusi papa we because we janoko. Because in near my you see no petition no HSA here see was a meti yet yes see evidence when a kind pictures videos. Time when I'm cutting out time when I'm free. When I net when I net when evidence or so just to distract because as we speak, you know, NPP MPs also the about things there till some with the case where we you know among parliament house beam any him saying chenom some more parliament house. So she near my boba. That means NPP for and we don't know. But you see no papa ya no the petition akono. Per evidence na exposes a BHS we NPP ni. Na oye NPP ni eno call movement for change. And we back to NPP. Sorry. So as you speak, nipa oye NPP ni say why dream men a tiny trim. And then Musa down kwa survey for 53% of Ghanaians as almost supported the ekoso. Yanko yenim na nukre bia anye den daddy. 53% of Ghanaians, more than half here to a banker ka ewini. So as we speak papa we all did this petition na Supreme Court and near Kesi NDC for kuku down for lawyers for say this petition is useless. Ne book us. Movement for change communicate awako. Ono so say ono de ono ohwehwe petition nim no call the toilet because nyanse bia ni sa petition nim. Ono no stance no. Meanwhile, na papa we be movement for change. Now, as you speak we see the way near boba na akwa say be more can say I'm sure among us is enemy. I'm sure a Supreme Court about petition because near ma no demand near ma also or evidence win. Now omo edge the presidency after this case also free papa we. Not just say ombra mechre baby unya some information free. When timancha punishment on famano. Yet the restaurant is also crowd or castle go home almost see papa we. A lawyer is for no so almost so yabo bomudin one to committee is on some deal with this matter. It's moko so amoka assembling digi enkwase na no cremade because he say obi aka asem kakra say nibi obeka say enya no cre just like that. There be actions must be taken. So we say for me go because I the updating bro. We need near my course. I just said the subscribe nation